My name is Honorable Lamin FM Conta. I was born in 1966 in Basel here. I've attended Jiboro Primary in 1976. Then from there, I've attended another school at Jambanjeli Primary in 1982. From there, I've been to Nusrat High School in 1984 to 1990. From there, I've gone to the Gambia Hotel Training School from 1992 up to 1994. Then 1995, I started working in the hotel industry. From 1995 up to 2016, when I was an assistant, from 1995 to 2016, I was working in the hotel industry. 2017, that's the time I started joining the politics. Yeah.
Okay, and as we talked the other day, you don't feel like you have to join to the politics until the elections, no? That comes with Barrow.
Yeah.
And why do you start to have interest for the politics? How it started?
Yeah, as I told you the other time, because I was a member of the VDC for 15 years. I was the Secretary General of that particular organization for 15 good years. I was writing for the projects in the village and outside the village. So the villagers, they feel very comfortable with me, that I will be somebody who will be representing them maybe in the near future. So this is why they all of them together come to my house and seek whether I'll be able to contest for the elections. But in the first instance, I told them that I cannot because I'm working. But they have to come back again and told me that, well, definitely we don't see anybody who can represent us other than you. So definitely we decided to select you to represent us in the National Assembly. So this is why I also took upon myself because I don't want to betray the trust of the people. So this is why I decided to contest for the elections. And fortunately for me, I won with a landslide.
Why did you say unfortunately?
Yeah, because this is my first time to contest, and I won. It was very fortunate for me. Because I've been seeing people who were contesting for so many times, but they could not win. So I was very fortunate enough to contest for one time, and I won. This is why I was fortunate enough.
Okay, I think that you had said unfortunately.
No,
and I
said
well,
fortunately.
I'm not very sure about that.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. And what the people hopes for a person that work for the community as you? No?
Very good. As I told you the other time, there was high hope on us in so many aspects, ranging from developmental aspect, the moral aspect, as well as educational aspect, for the betterment of our country. Because if the country is not developed, the people are not going to be developed. But if the if the country is developed, the country cannot be developed without education, without health and infrastructure. These are the key areas, and as well as agriculture. These are the key areas that the government prioritize in any nation.
And do you think when you won that election that you can change these kind of things that you told me for real?
Very true indeed, because that's what we said during our campaign. We decided to promise people that when we voted into office, we will do our best to ensure to improve educational system in the Gambia, to improve agricultural production, and to improve the infrastructural development. These are some of the key areas that we promised the people, and I believe we are working on it because most of the farmers here, this time around, they have fertilizers, okay, in order to improve their farming products. All right, and as you can see, you are just going through from that end to that end. You can see that now there is some sort of a development coming up, because I'm trying to make sure that this area, this road It's been constructed where I'm staying up to the other side. So as we go, it will be replicated to the other parts of the village as well. So it's a boost.
And how did you manage that responsibility at the first time? Because I think if you won an election and you don't have very much experience in politics,
Yeah.
you know how the responsibility can manage.
Very true, but as we go, you are beginning to have experience, right? The more you go, the more experience you becomes. So I think I also have mentors, people whom I talk to. They try to give me directives in order to the way how to improve myself. So these are some of the things that I was doing, and I've been joining with other politicians who were in the field for quite a number of years, and they're trying to give me some ideas, the way how to go, how to operate in the society.
And every day that you wake up and do your job, do you feel the pressure that the people that behind you?
Of course, because I'm not very much experienced in it. This is why I have the, all right?
Sorry.
I'm not very much experienced in it. This is why I have the pressure. But as we go, now I'm beginning to cooperate with the issue, because almost everybody, I am representing almost 50,000 people in my constituency here. I have 21,000 registered voters in this country, in this constituency. Therefore, it is very challenging. But as I told you, the more you go, the more experience you becomes, and the less pressure it becomes. So, but I'm working because I'm represented by the government here. I'm representing the party that is ruling. Therefore, I don't think it will be a big thing for me in order to gain certain things from the government coffers, right? Because the government is in support of me, because I'm in the same party with the government. So therefore, I feel that it will be very comfortable for me to work hand in glove with the people of this country, particularly in my area. All right, I'll be able to bring certain developments expected by my people.
Okay, later I try to go in deeply in that questions and about education, because I think you have an experience with that.
Okay.
But follow the temporary line and to talk about politics, I want to talk about the days of Jame. Okay. Were you in the Gambia when Jame rise into the power?
Yeah, there is no single day that did not meet me in this country. I'm almost here. Every day I'm here since he came the mantle of leadership in this country.
And what do you think in that moment? Because I think Jame comes like a hopefully person. No?
Yeah, because when he attempted a coup, when he overthrew the government, the legislative government of the day, people were very much joyful, simply because we thought that he's going to give us a very good living. He's going to help the people, the poor, right, and try to build up schools and other hospitals and other infrastructural development. But during the first 10 years of his regime, he tried very well. He was able to build some roads. He was able to build some hospitals, all right. But the second decades was a brutal decades, because carnage in people, killing people, all right, innocent people, the torture and disappearance of innocent Gambians.
And what it changed?
Pardon?
What it changed? Because if he...
Yeah, because he feels that he's very comfortable now, because he wins the minds of the Gambian people. So this is why he decided to change in other way around. He changed like a chameleon. I hope you know what a chameleon is. He changed like a chameleon. All of a sudden he changed, because he got the wins. He got the minds of the Gambian people, that everybody have the trust and confidence in him. Therefore, he's going to do whatever he feel like. This is why he becomes a brutal leader, become a dictator. Whatever he says, that is going to stand. He doesn't want anybody to challenge him. If you challenge him, the next day you are disappeared.
And how Jame built a country for himself? How it works?
Well, he has some sycophants who were supporting him, all right, they feel that well, because he's giving them money, he's supporting them on other issues, like if there is an opportunity of education, he gives you a scholarship whatsoever. All right, so you become a sycophant to him. You become a helping hands to the enablers to him, until he created a jungle that is determined to kill people rampantly without any discrimination.
You talk about the junglers, and what type of person was that?
Well, we have different type of people, not only Gambians but non-Gambians alike as well, who are also part of that jungle. These are Gambian people and non-Gambian people. He put them together, all right, to be in the death squad. This is why we call them junglers. They can disappear. They can, any moment from now, they can come to your house, maybe at night. Okay, knock your door. The moment you come out, if you don't come out, they will they will damage your door and switch you out. Okay, unmask. They will be masking themselves and go away with you. They will whisk away with you.
And weren't there any resistance to Yame into these days, or it was impossible?
Yeah, that was a resistance. But what I'm saying is, the moment you resist, you are disappeared. This is why even journalism was a big thing to this country. People cannot be heard, because even I remember the BBC reporter in the Gambia, who was designated to report on behalf of the people of this country to BBC, have to be absconded simply because his life was threatening. But he doesn't want you to tell him something that is against his will.
And wasn't there any opposition party like do you represent now?
Yeah, because the party I represented now came to being in 1996, 2 years after the transitional period of the military regime. Because there was a military regime for 2 years. There was transitional period. The party he was represented by then was called AFPRC, Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council. Then when it came to being in 1994 up to 1996, when we went to the polls. But before we go to, there was a draft of constitutional amendment. All right, they drafted the constitution for us to go to the democratic rule. This was 1996, and the first election was done in 1996. That's the year this party was born.
And how was to work in a party that is an opposition party during Jammeh's days? It was dangerous?
It was a very dangerous moment. It was a trying moment for all Gambians, particularly those who are in the opposition. Because we feel that at first we realized that our first thinking was, the man came with a good mission. He said their soldiers were different, right? But all of a sudden he turned like a chameleon, as I told you the other time, all right? You cannot be heard. The moment you say something, the next minute you are off, right? That leads a lot of Gambian intellectuals gone on exile.
And how this kind of surveillance works, because how Jammeh knows everything?
Well, as I told you, you have sycophants, you have people who are working on the ground, because we have what we call an NIA, National Intelligence Agencies, who are working 24 around the clock, right? Anybody can be an NIA, anybody can be working under his cover. He always sit on the fence, because even I'm talking to you, I'm not going to disclose certain information to you, because I don't, Gambian people, they don't even have trust in each other anymore. They don't have trust in each other anymore. Simply because the moment you say something, the next minute you heard about it. And the next minute, off you go.
And these kind of things...
he orchestrated the minds of Gambian people.
These kind of things, because Jammeh is Ayola, no, I think?
It's a Jola.
Ayola.
Yes.
But the majority in people in Gambia is Mandinka.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any benefits for this his group or his ethnical group?
Well,
how it works?
yeah, well, we feel that at first everybody was okay, but as we go, most of the time he favored his tribe men from the same ethnic groups, right? Because most of these portfolios, most of these high-ranking officials are from his ethnic group. So we feel that he's very tribalist. He's trying to create a commotion in this country, in the sense that majority of his people are the what we call the stakeholders, are the people who will have the say, the overall say at the end of the day. Because Mandinkas, I believe, have 43% of the population here, but they are only 10%. 10% of them are Jolas.
And in that moment, you are not relationship with politics, so you think you are under the radar.
Yeah, I never voted for him, but I was not in the politics. The only thing I do is when time for politics, I just go and vote, I come back, and I go to work. That's all. I have never worked in the government. This is my first time to work in the government. I was working in the private sectors. I have never worked in his government. This is my first time to work in the government, because I don't think I can work with him.
How do you, how it could be? Because I ask you this because I think even if you don't live by yourself, I'm sure that you know people that disappear under the regime. So how can you or any person wake up when you think it could be the last one, the last day in your life?
It is happening here because I remember in one of my constituency, here in Bonto, one of our very, very advocate is a supporter of this party. Went round, because he's a cameraman, went round, looking for, because he's working for CRS, working for these NGOs who are, working for the benefit of the children, all right? They help the children, the poor and the needy. He was just going, all right, on his mission. Unfortunately, he was trapped because from the tip-up that he is there he is coming to their meeting as a spy. So the intelligent people they work on as a tip. So he was apprehended, and he has been taken to jail, and he was killed. That's 9 years ago. Even because the man left 17,000 in the bank. Because I am an MP representing for this constituency, I have to go to the family and sign on behalf of the man, because they say without the MP, this money cannot be taken out of the bank. So I have to be there to sign on behalf of the family so that they can withdraw that money from the bank. And the lady is still here and is not even married up to now. And even she needs help. But the government is trying very well to ensure that, to help people. This is why the commission has to be set up.
And what type of support has received JAME for the people and for the international community?
The support of the?
What type of support received JAME from the people and for the international community?
Well, I even remember the time, there was a time when the Japanese government bring some rice, they send some rice to this country, a lot of rice. But it never benefited the Gambian people. He instead diverted to the people of Casamance to support him in his farming process, right? And it's a gift from the People's Republic of Japan to the Gambian people, to the poor people, but it has never benefited the Gambian people.
And just for try to start to comprehend these people that support Jame, what was his message?
Who?
Jame's message, how was?
His message was he was a soldier with a difference. He is here to help to salvage Gambian people. This is why people supported him. He said he is here to salvage the Gambian people. People supported him because of that. We thought that he came with a very good idea, but all of a sudden he turned to a chameleon. That's what I told him. He turned to a chameleon, which was very disgraceful and very, very pertinent to the Gambian society. It is disheartening to believe that, but as I told you, People are disappearing. Even one of my friends here has been tortured very seriously. Some have been beaten to death. Some people have been severely maltreated.
The protests against Jame started in 2016. Why in this year, or not other year, after 22 years, why in 2016? What happened?
Well, because of the election reforms, because those who went to protest, they said they need electoral reforms. Because in the Gambia here, there are a lot of malpractices that is going on here, especially during the time of election. Because I remember, you see, there are a lot of boxes, different boxes from different political parties, right? But there is a correlation center. For instance, in the primary schools, we have 3 polling stations here, right? But when the polling closes, they put all the boxes together and put it in one vehicle and take it to the correlation center at the college, right? Now, you being the agent of that particular party, if we reach at the college, that's the end of it. You are not allowed to enter into for the actual counting. So which means that there's no fairness in it. This is why it was very tough for Gambian people. We cannot do it. Everything everywhere is being surrounded by soldiers. Because he helped the soldiers, he supported the soldiers for his own interest, but not for the interest of this country.
In these elections, as a member of the party, how did you face these elections? How did you manage?
It was very challenging for that matter because it was 11 candidates in this only one seat for one party. 11 of us contested for this party, for these elections, right? But when it comes to all the interview has been done, everything has been done until they selected, shortlisted us, right? 3 of us emerged winners, but yet still I was the winner, right? But when we come to the last selections, 3 of us went for the last selection, right? 15 votes. 15 people are eligible to vote for the last selections, in which I scored 13 votes. The other one got 1 vote, and the other one got another 1 vote. So which means I was emerged the winner.
And what was the main message to the people?
The message to the people?
Yeah.
My message to the people?
Yeah, from you.
Yeah. I feel that I will represent them very, very effectively to my own point of view. Because leadership, we have different type of leadership. We have charismatic leadership, a leadership that is derived from your own self. Because they know that I am a type of leader which I'm very much listening to the people. Because a leader has to be listening to people. You have to know people's consent. You have to know people's will. But if you just say that because I'm a leader, I feel like I'm going to say whatever I feel like to say, you can't be a good leader. You need to listen to the people. This is why my last conclusion here, between the problem between the Alkali and the VDC, the last day was at Alkali's because we had a meeting here. Prior to that, we had the last meeting at Alkali's place. I told them that today is the last day because you have to take your stand. I told them today is the last day. That is, there is no negotiation anymore. You either go as a VDC, the village will go. But my decision stands. We must ensure that these people we work together with these people, or the VDC is gone, we look for another one. That's all. Sometimes you have to take a stand. And so you have to be a very consolidated or a solidified leader. Yeah.
How did you feel when you realized that you are winning?
I feel very happy, very comfortable. I was very happy. And I thought that I believe that I will win. I'm very much sure of that. I believe I will win. And I'm sure a lot of people were happy because they said I was the right man to be chosen.
When Jame don't accept the first election results, how did you feel? Because did you fear a big repression against the people, or even you?
Yeah, because me, I was very much aware. Because somebody told me from a tip up that this election results would not be accepted by this man in the long run. But what are the mechanisms are we going to do in order to avert that issue? What we decided to do is, well, when he decided not to accept the results, people were very much depressed. I think I have 2 or 3 people who went, even my people here, some of my family members, I told them to stay. They said no, they are not going to stay because it could avert to a very serious consequences. Some of them decided to live here and go to the surrounding villages like Casmas or so. All right? But for me, I did not move to an inch because I know that however the case may be, the man is going to leave one day or the other. There's no doubt about that. I'm very much concerned with what I was thinking.
What was the role of ECOWAS into this process?
Well, they have done a very proactive role in trying to mitigate the issue of the Gambian people, because we have to commend them tremendously for their efforts that they have done. And in fact, let me tell you one story. The then government was not paying the dues to the ECOWAS because they were thinking they are going to manipulate the system. And this is exactly what they have done. That manipulation was done simply because he was not paying the dues, so that in case of any eventuality, the ECOWAS will not come in, all right, in his support.
And do you think that this ECOWAS reaction in the situation here in the Gambia could be an example for other countries in the region?
It is a real example. I think this is a turning point for all West African countries. Because any country or any leader who misbehaves is going to face the serious consequences of the ECOWAS forces. This is why we definitely commended them so much that we know that definitely ECOWAS have done a tremendous job in the ECOWAS in the African sub-region, particularly the West African sub-region here.
But that was 1 year before. Why the ECOWAS army force still here in the Gambia?
Yeah, just to stabilize the situation. Nothing else but to stabilize the situation. Because Gambia also is a signatory to ECOWAS. And Gambia is a contributing factor to ECOWAS. Just like what happened in Guinea-Bissau. Gambian people are in Guinea-Bissau. Gambian soldiers are in Bissau. Also maintaining peace there. So it's a sub-regional thing. It's the same everywhere. Because I remember when Senegalese have a problem, Gambian people have been sent there as well. So obviously it's a normal routine.
And how many time do you think it's necessary that we stay here until stabilize the situation?
I believe because at the moment the government is working very hard to ensure that they bring back all our, because they went for a military training so that our people can be restored back to the our old days. All right, this ECOWAS, they have a mission. As soon as this mission is completed, they will go. Maybe 1 year time, they might go. That also will be subject to our parliamentary immunity, because they have to go to parliament. All right, the government have to go to parliament for to seek.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Can you? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. The video stopped, but just for a few seconds. Okay, what do you think about the decision of the international country, maybe ECOWAS, I don't know exactly, who takes that decision, of leaving Jammeh free without trial?
Well, I can assure you that Jammeh will be tried. But at the moment, it is not within our constitution. The constitutional provisions does not require for the man to be immediately put into book, simply because he knows that what he is doing is not proper. This is why in the constitution it doesn't indicate that one there. But at this point there is going to be a constitutional review commission, already is in place. All right. As soon as that is over, that is done, the man will be brought to book. He will be taken to trial. There's no doubt about that. He is trying to prevent himself. This is why there are so many constitutional provisions has not been indicated.
And how it could be possible if he stays in Equatorial Guinea under the protection of Obiang?
Yeah, because Obiang said because he is a leader and he is under the international protections. But that has nothing to do with the trial. Because if the government of this country want the man to be tried, there will be a negotiation with the government of Equatorial Guinea and the Gambia government to ensure that there is a level playing field for him to be tried for his genocide.
At this point, what it means for you, the democracy?
Well,
not a leader, just the concept of democracy, what it means.
Well, people misrepresented the word democracy. Democracy is a rule of law, represented by the people and of the people and for the people. That's what we call democracy. But people tend to misrepresent democracy in the sense that they always know people misbehave. People do certain things, they said, because of democracy. All right? But there must be a limit. Even myself, being a member of parliament, I once, in my parliamentary questions, I put this there to the Minister of Attorney General, Minister of Justice, that could you tell the Gambian people what is the limitation of democracy in this country, or the freedom of expression? Because you cannot, so long as your freedom of expression does not infringe mine, it's acceptable. But if the boundary that my freedom of expression stands, if you cross that line, that's an infringement.
So do you think that the people has to be educated and to be used to this new...
This is why the civic education is coming. The civic education is coming to sensitize the Gambian people how democracy is all about, and how the freedom of expression, how the rule of law, how the people, the citizenry should behave, the way they should go to the poll, and here and there, the way they have to handle the state machinery, and the way the election process is taking place is the sole responsibility of the National Civic Education Committee. Yeah.
I think you have a lot of right in that what you are saying, because I'm talking to the people that maybe it's not very
effective.
Yeah, they think that the democracy not changed nothing, and well, I say, well, it's been only 1 year that for change. No, it's too soon. So I think it's very important.
You know, it's in the first place, it's not easy to make changes. It must have to take time, because 22 years of a dictatorial rule, which has been orchestrated by an anarchy, cannot be overrun by 1 day or 1 night or one year. It's not going to be possible. And a broken economy cannot be fixed in 1 year. It's not possible, right? People have to be very mindful, and people have to be very careful of what they are doing. Even me, for instance, before you build up that house, it takes you time. How many months you've been here? It cannot be fixed overnight. You have to use your time to solve problem here and there, to ensure that it goes through the line and goes through the international way. Because we cannot just come up overnight and do things by ourselves without going in line with the international community. It's not possible. We cannot do that. And I believe in any community, you must have to be, you must have to recognize yourself to ensure that you work with the community. Huh?
And what were the main steps to start this great change?
It is in our constitutional provisions, right? Whosoever infringes the law will take its course. I can even bring the constitution for you to read. It is there. All right? If he infringes the law will take its course. Therefore, it is incumbent upon all Gambians and non-Gambians alike. If you want to maintain peace, you must ensure you must respect the rule of law. What is good? One good turn deserves another. It is saying, as the saying goes in the Golden Ale, that what is good for you should be good for somebody else. What is not good for you cannot be good for me. For instance, being a Gambian, if I go to Spain, I break your law, what would the law say? I think that would be an equal punishment as if you are a citizen of Spain. So this is what is happening.
Okay, but what I try to arrive is in this process that Gambia is living. Usually you have 3 or 4 scenarios that I think it has to take in account. No, one of them is, of course, finance. Secondly, I think some steps to reestablish the peace between the people that support Jame and the other that suffer. The role of the army, that many steps. No? So in the finance, how a country without money, because Jame runs away with a lot of money, how can establish? No? Do you have any support of an international?
Yeah, if you could remember, I think in last month there was a donor conference in Brussels, which the Gambia government was very much supported by the international community, European Union, international community, to help the Gambia government with 1.47 billion euro, right? Just to help the Gambia people to build up their broken economy, to build up their infrastructural development, to build up the agricultural sector, health and education.
And the other thing that I think is difficult to manage, that percent of Jame supporters.
Yeah, because there will be TRR, what we call Truth and Reconciliation and Reparation Commission. It's about to launch any moment from now, because all the commissioners are all been appointed, and any moment from now, from now against the end of this month or beginning of next month, this commission will start their operations, right? Because the truth first have to be established before there is reconciliation. You cannot kill my people. You have to accept that you killed them before accept reconciliation. No, so that's what we said. TRRC, Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission. Yeah.
Do you think that thing is possible?
Very well indeed. Very, very well. It has been approved by Parliament. You have already approved it. Parliament have approved, and whatever the Parliament does, it will go. Yeah.
That's nice. That's because in Spain, during the Civil War, it's a lot of hurt, and even in this
the Catalonian.
Yeah, but not the Catalonian. Catalonian is other things, as some independence. Well, it's complicated.
Okay.
But other thing that I want to discuss with you is the army role. What was Barbo did with the higher positions? He removed them of the.
No, he did not, because presently there is what we call the security reforms process is going on. They went all over the country to go and seek the consent of the Gambian people, all right? And then after that, there will be recommendations. That recommendation have to be made by that commission and then taken to the executive. From there, it will go to the parliament for approval.
How the Barrow wants, or the government house, to open the country to new investors and to the international community?
Well, this is why I think there was 19 diplomatic missions in the Gambia, but instead of 19, now we raised it to 22, right? Because certain countries, Jame was not in good order with them, because the Republic of China was not with him, right? It was just recently that we re-established by this new government. It was China on Taiwan, right? He was having an diplomatic establishment with them. All of a sudden, he break that diplomatic relation with them, right? Now there are a lot of 22 ambassadors in this country. Gambian ambassadors have been designated 22 areas, in 22 countries, all over the world. The rest we have consulars, right? So which means the Gambia is open to diplomatic missions. We are very much friendly to all international communities. We need help, even ourselves. As Parliament, we have established 4 relations with 4 parliaments, We have a relationship with the parliament in Turkey, the friendship parliament. We have a friendship parliament in China. We have a parliamentary friendship in France, okay, and another country in, I don't know, in Azerbaijan or something like that. So that shows you that, Gambia is on the course.
And how the people react to these changes and the fact that they indeed are free now?
Very, very well, because now when you are talking, you don't even see behind you. Because the moment you are talking before, you must always have to seek whether somebody is behind me. But now, everybody can talk freely of your own. So long as it complies with the Gambian rule of law. Because you cannot just talk for the sake of talking. When you are castigating others, we will not accept that. At any circumstance, we will not accept it.
And well, now you're in the government, you take part of the decisions and that kind of things. In your opinion, what are the achievements of Barrow in this year?
Well, the first achievement was people are free. Free to speak, free to move, and free to say your concert. That's a very, very, very big achievement. Yeah. And at this point in time, as the government is working very hard to ensure that there is going to be a salary increment maybe in the next year, all right? Because as we are trying to fix our broken economy, a lot of people, a lot of communities are helping us, right? So as we go, there will be a lot of changes, a lot of, development that will be taking place, certainly.
But for example, talking about here in Basori, Barrow promises a year ago that the electricity comes, no? 1 year ago, and now Basori is still in the dark. So why think they can did it or do it?
That I can assure you that will be the thing of the past. That is already done. As I'm speaking to you, we are receiving about 10,000 poles that is coming from India. These metal poles, because we don't have metal poles in this country. We always order them. It's already done in India. I think maybe when next year, when you come, you will find everything here. I think I can assure you in the next 2 months, you will have something here. There is no doubt about it. Yeah. This is why the president did not come yet. Yeah. And very soon he will be coming here. Because I was given a tip from the government. And I cannot disclose to you when he's coming, but I know when. It might find you here or not, but then I know that he will come. That will be a special one that has nothing to do with. It will not be shared with any other village except here.
I think I have a conversation with people that feels that Barrow has like a fans, okay, like real supporters around his figure as a person. No? Of course, I don't even thinking about the Barrow does. Well, he did a lot of things. No, he's doing a lot of things for the Gambia. But do you think that Barrow could become dangerous in any moment for the Gambia? Because in the first moment, he talked about to stay in the government for 3 years, and now he's waiting for 5 years.
Well, Gambian constitution says you are eligible to elect into office for 5 years. That's our constitution. If we happen to break that, the constitutional provisions have to be undermined, which we will never accept in any circumstances. That 3 years is a gentleman agreement. It's not the constitutional agreement. The constitutional provisions provided 5 years in the office. Me, a member of parliament, I'm staying for 5 years. Why not the president? It was a gentleman agreement, that's the coalition agreement, but that was not in the constitution. People doesn't know. Some people they don't talk, but they don't know the state machinery, how this government works. That is going to infringe the constitution. This is why now we are trying to what we call the Constitutional Review Commission. There is a constitutional reforms. We are going for referendum. Right? There are certain bad laws in the constitution have to be removed out. certain clauses in the Constitution are what we call entrenched clauses. They have to be removed. A provisional clauses and entrenched clauses is different. Certain entrenched clauses cannot be removed without going to referendum. This is why we are trying to. Because one man, you can as a president, you appoint a CFO or a chief, you dismiss a chief. The former regime, before this Jammeh regime, we got what we call constitutional provisions that provides the people in that particular area to select their own leader. That's why we normally go for elections, like chieftaincy elections. If you feel that this chief is not competent enough, let's go for election. But the man decided to change that so that he can have the backing of the chiefs, because they are very powerful figure in the districts. Because they represent the alcalis. They are all is the head of the alcalis.
It's a nice position. Thank you. And for the next years, what's your vision about Gambia? It's a bright future.
We believe that will be a bright future, because there cannot be any investment without electricity, as I told you. Electricity is key, and that is going to be the thing of the past. In the next 1 or 2 years, that will be finished, because there is a roadmap of electricity. You cannot bring the investors here without electricity. How can you invest? It's not possible. You must have to have electricity in place 24 hours for you to have an investors. Otherwise, your investment will be null and void. So this is why there's a brighter future for Gambian people. And even my area here would be constructed. There is a road linking from that end to the other side. About 13.5 kilometers of road have to be fixed as soon as the rain finishes. Right. This would be done by this federal government. That's a future, a brighter future in this country for that matter.
And what's going to be the role of the Gambia in African issues or in the future?
Yeah, the Gambia is trying to do everything. The Gambia is trying to do everything possible to ensure there is peace and cohesion all over the African countries. That's what we want. What we feel for ourselves, that's what we feel for others. This is why in all the international community, Gambia is part of it. Gambia is part of the AU. Gambia is part of South-South cooperation. Gambia is part of ECOWAS. Gambia is part of United Nations. Okay. Well, that's why Gambia has a very good rapport. If I think 3 days ago, the European Union, instead of 1.47 billion, now they are also going to add another 147 million euro. That's to sustain Gambia. Obviously, that's a bright future for us.
I ask you that because in many things appears that Africa in general always stay behind on the political decisions internationally. So I don't know if you have an answer for it. Why it could be...
People want to stay? Oh?
No, I think why it seems that Africa always stay behind in the international matters. Because I cannot understand.
Yeah, Gambia, Africa in particular, the problem of Africans, I think most of Africans, I think our understanding, I believe, is very limited compared to the European countries. Because when you say Europe, you are all the same. Because now if I want to go to Senegal or if I want to go to Guinea-Bissau, before I reach there, it will be a problem. Because they will be asking me all sort of questions, all sort of money for me to be given them. But from Spain to UK or from Spain to, I don't know which country very close to you there, Portugal or whatsoever, it's not a big deal. Maybe you can go without any visa. Right? But sometimes it's a problem here. The mentality of Africans, I believe, sometimes the African mentality is very savage. The way they are thinking and the way things are going is two different things. Everybody wants to ensure that this is what I said in my country must stand. And there must be a collaborative effort in all sectors. Like you people, you are working as a group. If you want to go individually, you cannot succeed. But you must go in group. All right? So that you can be succeeded. Somebody would be the other side, the other one would be the other side, the other one would be the other side. So the collaborative effort will go together. Therefore, there will be a success.
So, do you think Africa has to act like as a
Africa
collective,
have
no?
to move very fast, as far as the level of the world is concerned. Like Europe, there's no metro in Europe. Everybody is busy, right? But people are very lazy in Africa. You can see a group of people just brewing green tea down there, right? When we have work to do. But in Europe, that is not that. That's not the case. That's why we want you to give us that culture, okay, of engagement. We need that culture of engagement so that we know what to do. But if we are all relaxed, even the government is helping. But the government is bringing something, development to your doorstep when you are not acting. What is the essence of it? And I can tell you, this government, it will be different from the other government, because in this new dispensation, this new constitution coming, there will be 2-term limits. Nobody can go beyond 10 years. I can assure you that. That will happen. Sometimes certain problems have been caused by overstay. If people overstay in power, now you become a monarchical system of government. So these are some of the issues that the African is confronting from their leaders.
It's a very good initiative.
Yeah.
It's very good, because even in Spain, maybe a person can stay for whatever. No?
So you see.
Okay, from now on, what's going to be the relationship between Gambia and the UK? Because I think Gambia is returned to the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
How is the relationship?
Well, I think even myself, I think I'll be part of that Commonwealth team. I will be part of the parliamentary team to go to UK, maybe in September or so, because there is a cordial relation between the Gambia and the Commonwealth family, because now we have readmitted to Commonwealth Parliament. A lot of people, a lot of help now is coming, because they gave us some scholarships, all right, to study in some Commonwealth countries. Right, so that's a big achievement. The man one day he just announced it over the radio that Gambia is no longer part of the Commonwealth. That was a big blow to Gambian people. So this is how a dictator act. What we call he always use presidential directives. That's very detrimental to the development of any nation. The president will just come one day and say, "This is what I want." It's a reverse.
Talking as we are about Gambia's development, one of the problems that I think that Gambia has is the migration, because a lot of young people goes to Europe or try to go to America and other countries. Is the government doing anything to revert this situation?
Yeah, at the moment there is what we call the International Organization of Migration, IOM, is working with the Gambia government, right, to ensure that the young people are well established and offer them job so that they can stay and also contribute their quota in the nation building. Yeah, definitely the government is doing very well in there. This is why the year projects, there are carpenters, there are masoners, there are a lot of the recreational centers that is about to be built, okay, for this year project to take place, so that the young people can definitely stay and contribute their quota in development of the nation.
What do you think about Europe and America's immigration policy in the new times?
Well, Gambia's immigration policy cannot be compared to that of Europe. Europe, the immigration policy is very, very, very advanced. We are also working very hard so that we can get there, but it's not easy because they have all the equipment we don't. Because even if I am a driver, I will just go somewhere else. If I break a rule, the camera will show it out. We don't have that facility here. We are not advanced to that stage, right?
Okay, but I'm talking about Europe. For me, it's the same to say that because I don't understand it. But Europe is stop the ships that come to Europe from Africa and even Americas with Trump, like America First. pardon for sorry for that, but fuck the world. And what do you think about that? Because Europe has is washing her hands with Turkey, maybe.
With Turkey?
Yeah, because thousands of people that comes into Europe is going to Turkey because an agreement between Europe and Turkey for Turkey to receive that migrants and not Europe. What do you think about?
I don't understand it very well. You said Turkey. There is an agreement between Turkey and Europe.
Yeah.
All right, but then what happened is that the immigrants would be taken to Turkey.
There is a problem for Europe. No? It's a problem that many people of Africa is come to Europe.
Yeah. Okay.
And Europe is like, wow.
It's full. We can no longer take care of it.
Yeah, but it's not very sure.
Okay.
For me, it's not true. So, what do you think about that type of policy, an immigrant policy?
Well, as I told you, because I think we have 5 continents in the world, so all these continents are all equal in terms of human capacity, because the African governments, I think they need to revisit their immigration policies. Because, but if Europe also should do that, we feel that some people go to Europe. There are so many reasons. Some go to Europe for greener pasture. Because if you go to Europe, you look for something to help your family back at home, right? Some go for other reasons. Some don't want even to come back. These are some of the problems, because people. It depends on people's attitudes. I think there must be an attitudinal change. African people have to change their attitude towards this immigration policy. But if more companies are open in African countries, I believe there would be less immigration problems, certainly. If we have more investors, particularly from Europe, if the Europeans want that, they can help us to bring in more investors, so that instead of going there, you can just stay in your country and work. That's what I feel. That's in my candid opinion.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
That's my opinion too.
Really?
Do you think the answer to immigration should be an African decision as a collective?
They should do that, because that's what they are working on in the African Union, the AU. They are working very hard to ensure that there is a collective decision regarding this immigration law. Right. They want to have a common tariff, a common policy, whereby how can they able to solve this problem in terms of this immigration law.
I think one other reason to stop the immigration can be the education. No?
Yes.
What's education for, in your opinion?
There must be both technical and academic professions in the field of science, in the field of technology, right? If that is available, well, that would be definitely less scarcity of problem of this nature. Yes. We have 2 ministries here: Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Ministry of Higher Education. This higher education is responsible for these technological matters, right? But the government is very well ensure that at least the university education, in fact, could be one of the best, because if people are well resourced enough, they'll be able to do something for their country.
Do you think Gambian people is compromised with the education of their children?
They are very well compromised, but some of them don't have the ability, the resource. If I want to take my kids to the university, if I don't have the money, how can I take it? It's another problem. It's a daunting challenge for us. Resource mobilization is a challenge for us, really. But if you have somebody who will be sponsor you, there is no doubt about that. Of course.
About education too, and about the woman and the role of the woman in this country. What's going to be the role of the woman in this future that is bright? And do you think it's necessary to advance into the equality of the women and the men here in the Gambia?
Well, we are working very hard on that because even me, I advocate that. Women, what man do, woman can do. All right? So, obviously, but judging by the fact that what we have here in our country, most of the women are not going to school. Most of them are not going to school. I think we have more population of men than women who have gone to school. But in general, women constituted, I think, about 50 or 60% of the population. It's now recently now the young girls are going to school. But during our time, myself, we've been to school in 1976 here. Very few of us were asked to go to school. The rest, they said, no, the Islamic school. These are some of the challenges that we are confronting. Otherwise, somebody older than me would have been in school or would have done something better than me. Imagine a village of this nature. This is a big village. It's bigger than so many villages within this area. But those who went to school, very few. A lot and haven't gone to school.
So maybe the solution to this quality problem that is possible to be here is to increase the access of the woman to an education by the beginning.
Of course, yes. Definitely.
And if it's too important, the government is doing concrete things to encourage
the government is trying to encourage very well, especially girl child. They are encouraging very well for the girl child to go to school, all right? So that as I told you, one man can do, woman can do as well. This is why we are taking the women to other higher positions, like up to a level of vice president.
But there are some special plans to do that? Or
yeah, there's a special plan for doing that. Yes, this government is trying to do that.
How it works?
Pardon?
And how it works?
It will work through what we call sensitization. We sensitize Gambian people because, as I told you, most of the people, women, are in the rural areas. It's not if accessibility is a problem. Even access is a problem. And some of these radio stations cannot be covered the whole country. Wider coverage is not available. The internet, our technology is not advanced enough to cover the whole, for even telephone. Because when I went to this Tandaba, if I want to call here, I have to go to Jarasoma and call. And from that Tandaba to Jarasoma, it's about 28 kilometers away. Just to call. So we need to have technology advancement.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's very important. So I think you, because maybe you live here in Basari and you're in contact and touch with the people, do you realize that kind of problems, no? I don't know if the government indeed has that vision that you have.
Yeah. Of course.
And do you think that should be a public education system here in the Gambia? Because instead of being so much private education like a charity, no, charity is a private thing.
Yeah.
And do you think it's not better to build a public educational system?
Of course, there are both schools that are public institutions, like the government. But what one can understand here is most of the people goes to these private schools because they said private school is expensive than the government school. But then some said the private schools they receive more education in private schools than the government public institutions. See, these are the problems that is confronting people here. Right? Some have not. The government school is cheaper, but some said no. They feel that the government school cannot do more than the private school. The private school is doing more than the government school, and the government is denying that because they say they have catered all facilities to them. Yet it's left to the individual to decide. But that's why they are encouraging more people to go to public schools.
And if exists that problem, is the government building some new public schools or something?
Yes. Government is building new schools. Because if you go to Cloro here, There is a school that is built by the government. They are trying to build schools, all right, so that to get up more people.
Okay. Talking about playing or charity, what do you think about our project?
Pardon?
What do you think about our project here
Playing.
in Basori? Playing, yeah.
Yes, planes coming in Basel here is a big achievement. And in fact, I have to be very much proud because being the people's representative, and it came in my era, is a well commendable. Me, I am the one who is happy more than everybody because I feel that you wanted to establish educational system that will enhance the understanding and capacity of the people, particularly the children of Basel. That's a big achievement. And in fact, that will complement the government's efforts. In fact, what I'm planning here, so in case the president comes to this country, before he comes, I'm going to inform him. And I'm sure he'll be informed. Because I will inform the governor that we have a school existing in a village from the plain charitable organizations that is doing a pivotal role in terms of educational developments in our country. You are trying to complement the efforts of this government. The government will be very happy about this. And I believe the Minister of Education is well aware of what you are doing. They know. My friend, I went to school with him, is the Deputy Director General of the school within this region. And I'm sure we're going to make a visit to your school.
And what could be the impact here in Basori?
Absolutely, absolutely. It will be a greater impact. It will yield more dividends. Progressively, it will yield more dividends. Seriously.
I have a question that it's funny for me. Well, it's not fun. Well, I think it's funny. It's good for a community like Basori to that 22 Babs come here and live between you.
In fact, we need more than you. We can even if we have 100, we'll be very fine with it. Because according to our ancestors, we've been informed, some of us have been informed for a few years, some years ago, that we'll be receiving white people here. A lot of them will be coming. This is a clear manifestation that more will be coming. We are expecting more of you coming. Certainly. We are very grateful. You people never disturb anybody. We are just at your side. If you want, I just go and visit you. And in fact, I'll be very happy if you can every time to come and visit me. I'll be very happy about that. And I even want some of you who come and stay with me here. I'll be happy. I'll be very happy. We really appreciate your happiness here, your presence here. Very, very well indeed. It's a big achievement for us.
Do you think that kind of things could be transformed, the idea of the white man that it still exists in Africa?
Why not? That's what we want. With the idea that you have, if we can excel them to us, we'll be very happy. We'll be more than happy. Even myself, sometimes I will come to you and exchange idea, because sometimes I know you might know more politics more than me. You might give me some idea how to run my politics. I'll be very happy. And sometimes I'll be coming to you in so that we can discuss together. We see how best we can forge ahead. Yes. Because we are not enemies in development, we are partners in development. You are here to develop us. We have to appreciate that very well indeed. So that's why we appreciate your effort. We appreciate your presence here, your efforts here, and whatever you are doing, because you've left your families, come and invest with us. That's a big achievement for us. There is no word that can express our joy of your presence here.
Thank you for that word.
Sure.
What do you think that's the future of playing in Basori and in Gambia?
And in fact, I believe it's not going to stop only here. The plane would be very much widened. I think you will cover the entire country. At least in the next future, you'll have a representative who will be staying here. Not only here, all over the country. You will have your agents all over the country. We want that. Yeah. Because as we go, we'll be progressing. As we go, we'll be progressing. And it's a big achievement because last year it was not like this. Look at this year. And next year, we will be more than this year. What it's going to do is going to be more than this year. So as we go, we'll be progressing. Yes. We'll be able to extend countrywide. Yes. Because the government is with you. All the region, all the authorities in this region are with you. I'm with you. Because I'm the MP for this area. I am from the same region with the governor of this area. I can even call him now and tell him that, I want you to visit him, and I want to visit him with him. He's the governor of this region. Even the chief also. Okay, we are all from the same region. Even the chairman of the area council, okay, from the same area with me. They all come here. So it's a big achievement. Yes, and I'm sure where I support, they all support. We all support your genuine cause.
The future together is a great future, I think. So
Pardon?
the future together is a good future.
Yeah.
I think, a brilliant one.
Seriously.
I have two more questions and it's finished.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that questions because this is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you what makes you really happy in your life?
What makes me very happy?
Yeah.
Well, what I feel is, if I see you happy, I'll become very happy. That's my hobby. If I see you happy, I'm very happy because what I intend for me is what I intend for you.
And for me, the last question,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I think, it could be that documentary film. It appears in a lot of areas, maybe in other countries. Of course, in Basori and in Gambia. So, if you want to say something to the world that could be the receptors of this message, I invite you to share whatever you
Say any other message that I have.
yeah, for the world, for Gambia, for I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very happy for this question. It's a very, very important question. I believe it's the last question, but it's very important. Well, my message to the world, particularly people of this country, that let us unite and work hard for the betterment of the world, for the betterment of our sub-region, for the betterment of our continent, and for the betterment of our country. Because divided we fall, united we stand. If we don't come together, we will never do anything. This is why I said, individual cannot do anything. No man is an island of your own, unless you join with others to make a fruitful game. Therefore, it is incumbent on all of us to come together for the best interest of our nation, the best interest of our society, and the best interest of the world, and the best interest of the village, and the best interest of your disorganizations. Therefore, I feel very much honored and privileged to thank you so much and appreciate your efforts. And as I told you, we are very much cognizant of the fact that you are there to help us in building our future generations. Because the kids are the future leaders of tomorrow. If they are good, it's good for the good of the whole nation. God forbid if they are perish for the whole nation. Therefore, I believe coming into this country, particularly this village, we really appreciate the leadership of playing, the participants, the volunteers, everybody, and the government of the Republic, the Kingdom of Spain, for their commitments, their efforts. We also thank the government of the Republic of the Gambia for their efforts in trying to inculcate the moral behavior in all sundry, in all and sundry. Therefore, I am trying to, without any reservations, thank you so much once again, and believe that this is going to be a high height. The cooperation between the Gambia and the Kingdom of Spain would be high on the agenda at all times. And the bilateral relation between this country would further strengthening, would be further cement, okay, in the years to come. And on that note, I thank you so much, and I believe this will go a long way in creating an environment that is conducive for all and sundry. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Lamin.
Thank you.
Baraka. It's okay. I don't know if my partner wants
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I take it.